Naftali Bennett became the Prime Minister of Israel. How did a politician with one of the smallest parties in the Israeli parliament became the Prime Minister? Since 2012, Naftali Bennett ran under the ticket of being more right-wing than Netanyahu. He accused Netanyahu of not being aggressive enough with the Palestinians, of not building enough Jewish towns in Judea and Samaria. Naftali Bennett saw himself as Netanyahu's successor. But election after election, the Israeli public didn't give him enough votes to become Prime Minister. Naftali Bennett realized that in order to become Prime Minister, you will have to think outside the box. Both had goals. The left wanted to get into power after so many years in the back seat. Naftali Bennett wanted to become Prime Minister, and they realized they can only make it happen if they work together. Just a few weeks leading up to the recent elections in Israel, Naftali Bennett and his party members promised every day that they will not sit with the left, that they will not form a government with the Arab party that has ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, a party that supports families of terrorists. Naftali Bennett actually created a contract that he brought to an interview on Israeli TV. He showed the contract to the camera and he said, "I will sign this contract that says that I will not sit with the left, that he would ever form a coalition with an Arab party that wants to eliminate Israel, a Jewish state, that wants to bring in all the Palestinians into the state of Israel and give them citizenship." Ayelet Shaked, Naftali Bennett's best friend and party member, said herself before the elections,
ממשלה שנשענת על המפלגות הערביות, הידיים שלה אזוקות. היא לא יכולה לצאת למבצע בעזה אם צריך, כי הממשלה תיפול. היא לא יכולה לטפל בחיזבאללה אם צריך, כי הממשלה תיפול.
Both Shaked and Bennett vowed that they will never form a coalition with Meretz, a left-wing party that supports BDS in Judea and Samaria, and that calls the international community to prosecute IDF soldiers for defending Israel. There are three main issues that Naftali Bennett's government will have to face. One is stopping Iran from reaching nuclear capabilities. Most of Naftali Bennett's coalition is on the left. They support Joe Biden's approach of dealing with Iran that is based on the agreement that President Obama signed with the Iranians. According to many experts, this deal will eventually allow Iran to become nuclear and also give them enough resources to fund their terrorism and war machine against Israel. Another issue that this government will have to face is the recent uprising of Israeli Arabs during the operation against Hamas about a month ago. A relatively large number of Israeli Arabs were attacking Jews in the streets and blocking main highways by throwing rocks at people in their cars. Synagogues, Jewish homes and businesses were burnt down. 3 Jews were murdered. Hundreds of police cars were put on fire. And just like in Europe in the 1930s, many Jews in Israel didn't leave their house of fear of being attacked just for being Jewish. A lot of work needs to be done, so this kind of uprising won't happen again next time Israel needs to defend itself from an outside entity. But Naftali Bennett's government is not equipped to deal with this, simply because Abbas, the leader of the Arab party that is in the coalition, put a veto on making any real reforms when it comes to Israeli Arabs, collecting illegal weapons and giving harsher sentences to violence. Abbas forced Ayelet Shaked and Naftali Bennett to give 5,000 Palestinian families Israeli citizenship. And this is only the beginning. If this continues, Israel will face a real problem of being flooded by Palestinians. Naftali Bennett may be Prime Minister, but he can't do anything without the permission of the head of the Arab Ram party. Because without Abbas, Naftali Bennett will no longer have a government. Ahmad Tibi, an Arab Knesset member, accurately called this government the first Israeli-Palestinian government. The third issue that Naftali Bennett's government will have to deal with is the Palestinian issue. The Biden administration is pressuring Israel to give up a lot of land in Judea and Samaria to the Palestinians, just like it did in 2005 when Israel expelled 10,000 Jews from their homes in Gush Katif and gave this piece of land to the Arabs in Gaza. This resulted in thousands of missiles being fired at Israel, including Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, anytime Hamas felt like it. But the majority of Naftali Bennett's government is on the left, and they are eager to give Judea and Samaria to the Palestinians, even if it means turning Judea and Samaria into a second Gaza. This is a unique situation, and it will be interesting to see how this government deals with the obstacles ahead.